Let's do a video how photographers can serve models better and how we don't end up looking like creeps. I'm gonna do a video with a bunch of tips that I think is gonna help photographers become better photographers when you photograph models. I would say, oh, 5 tips that or 7 tips that, but I don't know how many is gonna come off the top of my head because this is just me riffing off like literally what just comes up in my mind as I finish the point right before it. It's important for us, especially as men, not to be gender specific, but especially as men, that we're not creepy when we are photographers. And I think that there are creepy women too, but let's be honest, it's overwhelmingly men. And whether we're photographing a woman or a man or a guy or a girl, there's been a lot of stories. And because I owned a studio, which by the way, if you ever want to open a studio, watch this video. It's a killer video if I don't say so myself. I saw things and I saw so many photographers come through my space and rent space, and I was like, my God, you're a creep. Or I would never let my son or my daughter near you. And it's time that I just share some of these tips. So here it is off the top of my head. Number 1, it would be very important you make sure that you list for everybody on the call sheet at least the night before, at least 24 hours. Everybody who's going to be on set, their Instagram and their websites, or both if they have them. I need to know who's going to be on set if I'm a young model, because I want to know how many people are going to be there. Is there a plan for me? And I know it sounds crazy, but there are plans for people. There are things that have happened. There are people that have gotten trafficked. I can't say the word before because of monetization. So if you don't give them at least 24 hours, you're failing as a photographer. They should have the right to say no. And so do not surprise them. Surprises can be like, hey, so we're gonna shoot you in this green t-shirt, and then can you actually also lay on the ground? I know that's not on the shot list, but can you lay on the ground the green t-shirt because I like the green on green? That's not a shock. But if you were to ask somebody, hey, would you mind getting in your lingerie? Would you mind just getting in your underwear? And that wasn't specifically discussed, then that makes you a creep photographer. And it's our job to protect these models. Why? Because in America, particularly America, we are a very, very, very ageist society. We destroy people when they get older, and we really cherish people when they're younger. So who are we cherishing are these super young models. They are 17, 18, 19. Think back if you are older than those ages and you didn't know a single thing in this world. That's somebody's baby. Imagine your younger cousin or brother or sister, or if you got a child yourself, going to someone's home, going to someone's backyard or studio or alley or wherever they're shooting, and they say, hey, can you get in your underwear? And that wasn't specifically addressed. I want you to help spread the professional behavior that we also have. So number 1 was call sheet 24 hours in advance. Number 2, shot list before everybody. Number 3, make sure that you protect people and protect our identity and our occupation, because there's a lot of crappy photographers. Number 4, if you accidentally get a shot of somebody that is revealing, ask permission before you post it. One time I had a photo, and I'll show you this photo, that's right there, and I asked the model, I said, are you okay with this? I think it's such a beautiful shot, but I kind of see all the way up and we see a silhouette of your body, the lower butt cheeks pretty much. And she goes, oh my God, thank you so much for asking me. That's so cool of you. Nobody else has ever asked me, and I've been surprised before with like parts of my body showing. It took me just like 2 extra minutes. I just did a little bit of dodge and burn in that area. We covered it more. She felt comfortable. I still had the beautiful photograph, and I had somebody retain their own self-respect, and actually they respect me more. Somebody's sitting for you in a beautiful art portrait and they're topless, and you don't have to ask them for permission again. They clearly granted you that permission. If you are going to work with a model and they want to bring somebody on set as a chaperone, do not get mad at them. They have every right to have somebody with them, but you do have the right to limit who can come. For example, if I'm shooting with somebody and she says or he says, can I bring a chaperone because I really don't know you? And I'm like, absolutely. It cannot be, if it's like a girl, it cannot be her brother, it cannot be her father, it cannot be a guy she's dating, because she's going to perform differently if those male figures in her family are there. But if you want to bring 2 girlfriends, by all means, bring your girlfriends, bring another male friend, but I just don't want that relationship. That way, she feels safe and I get the shots that I want. And also, when they come on set and you have somebody as the chaperone on set, they are not allowed to stand behind you. Protect yourself, protect your creativity. They are not allowed to take BTS photos from behind you. That's not going to be your creative direction. That's not going to be your lighting, your creativity, that they're going to snap a photo right here, right behind you. Hell no, we're not doing that. So everybody that comes on my set that is doing BTS of any sort, that they're any kind of chaperone, that they're watching, they're out to the sides. That way, they're not getting the same shot that I'm getting. They're also out of the view of the model, so they're not standing behind me where the model has to look at them and downsize their performance. They're just there making sure that that model is safe. And the final one is, remember this, people are going to be paying you as a photographer for your expertise, not for your sugarcoating words. That's not going to help anybody. So if I'm taking a picture of somebody, I'm just like, all right, smile, smile, like taking a picture, and they don't have a very good smile, I'm going to tell them. But I'm going to tell them and I'll say, okay, when you smile a lot, it shows a lot of gums. So let's go from that to like, let's lower it just a little bit. It looks better. It's your job. Don't be afraid to be mean. There's a way to deliver things kindly. There's a way to deliver things that are very, very unkind. But give critique. Give it in a kind way. And if you mess up, backtrack a little bit and say, this is what I really meant. That model is going to do so much better because you were willing to put their success ahead of your own comfort and your own feelings. So a lot of times I notice that people extra sugarcoat and they don't really give the tough critique because not because they care more about the other person, but because their comfort level is more important than the other person doing well. So we're going to change that. And that is something that I do talk about in my courses. By the way, step pricing course, phenomenal. That's linked down below. I don't want to spend too much time on it. What do we do, by the way, if a model says, do you want to collab? I've talked about this many times, so this is really going to favor you, and you watch out so you are not victimized. Collab is code word for free work. That's what it means. So what do you do when a model says, let's collab? This is about to protect you. Define what that means. Now, we don't do free shoots. We do test shoots, but we don't do free shoots. So don't say no. Ask what they mean. Ask if they have a budget in mind for this. If they say no, I was just thinking that we can just create, say, okay, great, I'll do that. But in the meantime, while I think of some creative concepts and come back to you, would you be able to take a couple of days and give me a list of references of photographers who have collabed with you for free and it has impacted their careers in a positive way? Literally, you just said, listen, if you're influential, show me your influence. I can guarantee you, unless they're like a super, super, super top model or big celeb or a Kardashian type, they're not going to be able to provide you this list. I hope that these helped you out. It's literally these tips that I just want to give without a lot of like big video, different shots and all this stuff. Let's just talk. Let's have conversation. You get to see who I am. And I'm going to try to churn out more videos for you with my team. And that's it. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.